Hey, everybody. Welcome to Real Talk. My name is Nathan Smith. Join us today with our co-host, Carrie Cook, and, of course, the great Brian Poduska. We've got a great show as we continue our month-long series on strategic partnerships and their importance. Great guest today, Brianna Chacon and my friend, Marie Casado. Real Talk starts now.
Good afternoon, everybody. Brian Poduska here. Real Talk with Brian Poduska. Nathan, thank you for that awesome intro. We've got a host of great guests today, and of course, my two awesome co-hosts, Nathan and Carrie, today. We are going to be diving into the topic of strategic partnerships, and I look forward to learning more from our guests. I know a little bit about their backgrounds and look forward to learning more about them and how they utilize and thrive with strategic partnerships. So we will dive into that very quickly here. Real quickly, I want to talk about Real Property Management Focus, where we focus on your real estate investments. That is my company here in Frisco, Texas. We operate throughout the entire DFW area. We are a full-service property management company and real estate brokerage, working with, in particular, real estate investors who are strategic and intentional in nature, as well as first-time investors, anybody looking to get into the real estate investment game. We do have some really cool tools to analyze an investment property holistically, not just looking at cash flow, but looking at all kinds of different returns, cash on cash, you name it. We've got different ways to look at it. So that is Real Property Management Focus in a nutshell, where we focus on your real estate investments. So right now, what I'd love to do is bring in our guest, our co-hosts. Lennon, if you could bring them in. Awesome. Nathan, Carrie, how you guys doing today?
There.
Doing great.
Good.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, we didn't get a ton of time to prep before the show because I literally ran in from several properties that we manage out in Princeton, and luckily I slid into home right before we jumped on the show. But how are you guys doing today, since I haven't chatted with you guys yet?
A lot better than this time last month, that's for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, for those that don't know, Nathan had a pretty severe bout with COVID and pneumonia. So, Nathan, glad to have you back and glad to hear that you're feeling much better.
Sorry. I wanted to share it. I want to share it. My bad.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing in the background here, trying to get it all going. But you doing well today, Carrie?
Yeah. Ooh, doing real well. Enjoying the cooler weather.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. It's actually a little chilly in the morning now. It's kind of crazy.
Oh, don't say chilly. You crazy.
Well, for us Northerners that have been down here for a while, it feels chilly again.
Oh, I still can't. I've been down here 20-something years, and I still enjoy it.
Well, hey, why don't you guys tell the audience who you are, what your business is, and then let's jump right in, bring your guests in, and let's start talking strategic partnerships. Ladies first, Carrie, go ahead.
Ooh, sorry, I posted to the wrong group. Oh, Carrie Cook with Cavalier Realty Group, with Keller Williams and Allen, and real estate. It's still booming. It's still crazy, and it's still fun. And I got some land for sale if anybody wants it in Garland.
Giddy up. I like it. Awesome. Nathan, tell the audience who you are, what you do, and then let's bring your guests in.
All right. Well, Nathan Smith, as always, pleasure to be here. I run the Facebook page Freedom Freestyle, financial coach, business coach, entrepreneur, and I'm just privileged to be able to help and serve people in that capacity. And just speaking of, I know we're going to go into strategic partnership more, but my time so far with The Difference has been a great partnership, and just excited to be here on the show, Brian, and continue to do this each month. So looking forward to today.
Awesome. Well, like I said, glad you're back in the fold here. This can't say enough good things about The Difference and where we're headed. We've had a lot of good growth here, and in large part thanks to you guys as my co-hosts. and your awesome guests that you guys bring on a monthly basis. So with that being said, let's bring on your guests if you guys want to introduce them, and we'll let them talk a little bit about their business. And actually, I'm sorry, before we do, let's make sure we give some love to our sponsors. Always got to make sure we give some love. So Lyndon, throw up whoever you want first, and we'll talk about them. All right, Wines with an Appeal, Mr. Tom Rose Company. So this is a really cool fundraising opportunity, guys. Wines with an Appeal is a company dedicated to assisting people fundraise for their favorite nonprofit organization. They provide a fun and educational program to entertain your donors and increase their wine knowledge that could potentially cost the fundraiser absolutely nothing. That's right. Cost nothing. Have fun, drink wine, have the opportunity to drink some and test out and purchase some hard-to-get wines that you likely will not find in the area around here in DFW. If you're interested in doing something like this or just at least exploring it, send an email to Tom at wineswithanappeal.com or call him at 214-621-5216 for more information or hopefully to schedule your event. And our other sponsor is Mr. Greg Holdberg with Liberator Health Insurance. Greg offers up a deal of the week every week. He recently just signed up a 54-year-old accountant and his 23-year-old daughter for great coverage for $570 per month. The thing that I love about Greg and Liberator Health Insurance, he listens to what your needs are. He educates you on what your options are. You are not just stuck with the government marketplace programs. So this is a great alternative to those programs. Number one, it's a lot more affordable, especially for small business owners. And additionally, it gives you the flexibility to manage your healthcare accordingly to how you want. So you're not roped into certain systems or certain doctors. You can go to whoever you want and still either have the discount applied at service time or get reimbursed for it at very excellent levels. So for more information or to get a quick quote or just to explore with Greg, reach out to Greg Holdberg, independent health insurance broker at 214-886-4688. All right. Thank you to our sponsors. Please look them up. They're great people, great business folks, and certainly help out the small business owner and entrepreneur. So with that being said, let's bring in your guys' guests. Carrie, please, again, ladies first, although we have two lady guests. So, but we'll let the lady introduce the lady.
Okay, my guest today is the mayor of Princeton, Brian Chacon. And she's going to give us a little bit of update about what's going on in Princeton. They've got some cool stuff happening and their growth that's going on. And she's also going to talk about strategic partnership and how it has helped her with her mayorship.
Hey, good afternoon. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Brian, how are you?
Good. Hey, thanks so much for having me on. It's the first time I've ever done anything like this, so I kind of feel like celebrity status almost, and I'm really nervous, and I'm normally not a nervous person, so if you see me like clicking my pen a whole lot, that's what's going on. I'm nervous.
We'll talk you off the ledge. You know, this is my stress ball that I use every week, so
I should have brought my stress ball in. That's all right. So I'm Brianna Chacon, and I am the mayor for the city of Princeton. I've been doing that for almost a year now. I came in last year on the last year of the previous mayor's term. So it was a special election. He actually resigned because he moved, and we can't have somebody living in another city still being the mayor of our city. So I came in for that last year. That's now up for re-election. So that's what we're doing currently, and that will be for a 3-year seat. So nice. We're right in the middle of campaign season, which means it's crazy every day, but that's fun. And if you ever want to get involved in local politics, just jump into a Facebook group and you'll learn really quick that it's an interesting time for everybody. So I do that. So I'm the mayor for the city, but I'm also a real estate agent as well. So I broker with Simply Texas Real Estate, and that's based here kind of locally. My hub, I primarily just focus in Princeton and our surrounding cities. That's really my area of expertise. And so I love Princeton. I've been here for about 17 years now. I've got 5 kiddos that I've raised here. So very invested. Obviously, if I'm the mayor here, I like it quite a bit, and I want to see great growth for us. So that's really what we're focused on right now, is just strategic growth for our city, and we've got a lot on the horizon. So we're excited.
That's fantastic. I failed to mention, I was literally slid into home, as I mentioned earlier, coming from Princeton.
I heard you mention that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a community out there, Monticello Park, that we manage properties in. It's a Starlight community. So
I'm very familiar.
I am out there on a regular basis, and now that I've met you, I'm going to have to stop in the office and maybe have some lunch with the mayor.
Hey, please do. I would love that. So I frequently go over there and talk to the girls over at Starlight, and then with Mark Cope as well. So he's over that property. But yeah,
that's fantastic.
So
awesome. What's that?
I was going to ask her a question. When you moved there 17 years ago, about how many people were there?
We had about 6,000.
And what is it now?
Wow.
And we're projecting right now we've got about 22. So we haven't gotten the exact numbers from the census, but we're thinking 22 just based on building permits and what we've had come through. So we've definitely seen it explode. And the majority of that growth has been within the past 3 years. So when we moved out here, it was kind of, Princeton's going to grow and we're going to have this and we're going to have that. And then the housing market fell apart, and we just kind of sat for a while. And now we're actually seeing that needle finally move. And we're definitely excited.
I drive through there almost every Friday on the way to Greenville. So I'm very familiar with how much it's changed.
It has. It looks nothing like it did when I first moved here, that's for sure. But that's a good thing. We're excited about it. We finally have a Walmart, so we're very fancy now. Starbucks opened up, and that really put us on the map. And then tomorrow, Dutch Brothers Coffee's open. So, I mean,
I've heard that's a really good place.
Once you have a Walmart, you're official.
We are.
Well, and
definitely official.
Dutch Brothers is like the differentiator, because I think there's one in McKinney, and that may be it in this area up north anyway. So like you, Carrie, I've got a property that we manage out in Greenville as well. So I always, I drive by and I wave to my Princeton community, and then I go out to Greenville. But I noticed you also have a Whataburger there, right?
Mm-hmm.
We do. We have Whataburger. We're excited about them. Right next to Whataburger, we've got a Brahms coming soon as well. So they've already purchased that, and they're working on site plans now. So we're excited to have Brahms there. We've got a lot on the horizon. So I think our biggest thing that everyone likes to talk about is we have the lagoon coming. So I think that's really going to kind of transform our city and not make us so much of a bedroom community, but really more of a destination community, that people will seek us out specifically for that lagoon lifestyle, and not just, I think a lot of the other reasons why Princeton was ever on people's radar was we have affordable housing. And that's kind of changing. We don't have as affordable housing as we used to. I think we're really kind of catching up with the other cities. And so, the demographic and the mindset has changed on why people are moving to Princeton. And I think people now see it as it's a thriving community that they can invest in, and really grow the equity faster and quicker in their homes here and get more value out of that. But we are wildly excited about our lagoon properties. So,
well, I want to hear more about that, because that really sounds fun.
It is. So this is going to be by Megatel. And they've got several properties over the Metroplex that they're investing in that's going to have the lagoon. And, currently we have Windsong Ranch out in Prosper, that they've got the lagoon there. But this is something that's going to be very, very different in concept from Windsong. So if you were to venture to Windsong, you have to be a resident to live in that community to be able to go to the lagoon. One thing that's going to be unique about us is that the lagoon concept and the features around the lagoon, the amenities there, are open to the entire city. So the people that live around the lagoon, they will have different areas of access. They'll have private beaches that they'll be able to go to, that their HOAs take care of. But for the most part, the entirety of the lagoon is something that all of our residents can use, which is great, because we are a growing city. We don't necessarily have the tax base yet for us to have, a community center or a senior center. So this kind of helps offset that need until we are, later on down the road, and we can have more amenities for our citizens. But it's going to be beautiful. So I looked it up right before I got on the call, because I wanted to make for sure we were accurate on this. But right now they are projecting the lagoon to be about 3 acres of surface area.
Wow.
So that's pretty huge. I believe it's going to be actually at our next city council meeting for us to actually finalize this and put pen to paper and make this official, because this is their projection to us right now. But they've already purchased 313 acres to put it on. And their goal, the last time we spoke, is to have this lagoon ready next summer. That's their big driving point for the community. So
Nice.
Right. So real estate wise, that's going to be their draw. That's what they're bringing in. So they want to have that lagoon ready so that they can start moving those homes and moving their inventory.
Well, that's awesome. So topic of the day and month is strategic partnerships. So obviously that's a massive undertaking. And I'm sure required quite a bit of, working strategic partnerships. So I'd love to dive into that as we get into the talk of strategic partnerships and understand how that all came together and how you had to work together with folks to make that happen. So let's circle back to that. Right now, let's bring Nathan back on and let Nathan bring his guest in, and we can all kind of kick off on our topic.
Actually, Nathan lost connection, so I'm going to bring Marie in, and we're going to let her introduce herself. And
we don't need Nathan. We don't need
Nathan. He did the intro.
Oh, no. Well, guys, my name is Marie Casado, and I am the business developer at Valero Title. For those of you that don't know us, we are the home of Zero Escrow. Valero Title offers zero escrow on both sides of contracts. There's no junk fees. There is no carrier fees. And we gladly accommodate as well your mobile closing for buyers and sellers. So basically, all we do is charge the required fees, the required Texas title insurance fees, all of that is required, the minimum. And what we do is we help our realtors, we help our investors, we help our just people that want to refinance, anybody that needs to purchase or refinance a home. We're in the business of helping them save money. So I partner with realtors, investors, brokers, and what we do is I throw educational realtor classes, continual educational classes. We get together, we see how we can sponsor together, partner together, do business together, and help their clients get lower fees, save some money there, and as well help you guys build your business together. So you can find me on social media. You can find me at Ask Me Marie. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, and also LinkedIn. You can also go and visit our website, www.valerotitle.com. And also you can call me direct at 972-704-5424, and we can set up a coffee appointment, sit down and talk and see how we can do business together and help you and your clients.
Awesome. Sorry, I got disconnected. I think
it's okay.
My computer was dying and I didn't realize it. Very, very sloppy. Sorry about that. But so I didn't get the honor of introducing Maria. But man, Maria and I have prayed on each other now a couple months, and we had a great lunch at it was Blue Mesa, right? Wasn't that where we
Yes, we did. We had a great business lunch together.
And just a phenomenal human being. Great to talk to. Very passionate about what she does. Passionate about a lot of things, quite honestly, which is really cool. And so I knew that she was a great fit for what we're doing and just some of the stuff that we're about here at The Difference, especially with our topics this week and this month from a partnership standpoint. So I encourage all of my realtor friends, and I know we've got a lot of realtor connections here at The Difference, especially on today's show. So, and then something I wanted to say, Brianna, you said you felt like a celebrity. I've only met one other mayor, so I feel very important. So thank you for being here.
Was that Mayor Jim, Nathan?
Yes. And yeah, you brought both of them on. I don't have a very long list of mayor contacts in my Rolodex. So now I
Yeah,
can have another one.
we clearly need to hang out with Carrie more because she brushes shoulders with all the political bigwigs.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I gotta do what I gotta do.
Next, you'll have the governor on, and that'll really be impressive. So.
Well, I don't feel so bad about being nervous because if the mayor was nervous, then I can be nervous definitely. So.
That's right.
Yeah, hey, we're just here having fun and putting the spotlight on you guys. So that's what we do. No need to feel nervous. We screw up all the time, and we usually let each other know when we screw up and don't let it forget it. So feel free to screw up all you want. We'll take it easy on you.
Like
Steven accepted.
Kind of like Steven showing up a week that we didn't have a podcast.
Oh yeah, we had one of our co-hosts show up and didn't realize he thought he was filling in for another co-host who wasn't supposed to be there, and then we slowly introduced to him that he was supposed to be on the show to begin with. So
Oh no.
if you're looking at epic screw ups, that might be the leader in the clubhouse right now. So
Oh, Nathan, maybe also I wanted to let everybody know about our event that we're doing together.
Yes.
bring it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we're doing a realtors event. It's going to be this month on the 28th. It's going to be from 10 to about 1 o'clock. It's a contract class. I will be posting the link and everything on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, so you guys can go in and sign in. I think the class is only $5, so it's really great for the realtors that need their educational classes before the end of the year. So please come on and visit us. Come and hang out with us on the 28th of this month. And just get to know us and have fun. There's a lot of things that we can do together to help you save money for your clients and bring you more business.
Yeah, I'm excited about that because I thought I was going to have to miss the one because it was supposed to be when I was sick, and then unfortunately, they had to postpone it and move it to September. So I'm
I had a
to be
few
there.
people that got sick with COVID, and then there was one food poisoning going on. So I said, let's postpone it and retry it again. So
yeah, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
I got mine out of the way. I'm good. Thank goodness. Now I'm on legal update too.
Well, we can all use our CEs. I know that, and I guess most of us on the well, at least 3 of us have CE that we've got hit. So all right, well, duly noted. Thank you, Marie.
You're welcome.
Awesome. So thanks for being on the show today, ladies. Appreciate having you guys on, especially of course, we always love having folks in the real estate industry. Brian, I didn't realize that you were an agent as well, so that's awesome. That ties in very nicely. So let's dive into this topic of strategic partnerships, right? I guess we're on our 3rd show of the month, so we've had some really good, robust discussion in previous shows. What I like to do is just kind of level set and understand what your guys' definition of strategic partnerships is, because some people have different viewpoints as to what it may be. But Brianna, I guess let's ask you, how do you define strategic partnerships? And I guess second spin off of that is, what are the keys to success in a strategic partnership?
Man, you had to ask me first, huh? To me, strategic partnership, it's pivotal for your success. You have to have that. That's your core. That's your team, right? So in any position you're in, whether real estate for me, whether you're mayor, it doesn't matter what you do, the positions you guys are in as well. You absolutely can never do everything all by yourself, right? It's teamwork every step of the way, but your team also represents you. So you have to have the strategic partnerships in place that, one, know your vision, know your dream, know your goal. They're also going to represent that as well. So, if you've got a referral base or any type of any partnership really, and you're going to talk about them to somebody else, or you're dependent upon them to help you execute something and push something over the line, you have to have faith in them. So, those are your relationships that you're going to cultivate and really keep solid, that they're really an extension of you and they're really an extension of your brand and your vision. So that's kind of what I look for in strategic partnership. Somebody in something, an entity, a resource that adopts the same vision that I have, and that is going to have the integrity to maintain that. And I don't have to go back and question it at any point. They're an extension of me.
That's awesome. I think you had two key points there. Being your strategic partner being an extension of you, and directly tied to that is having trust in that strategic partner. Having faith, I guess, is the word that you use. Having faith in them. I think those absolutely very, very key points. Marie, what are your thoughts on the definition of strategic partners and partnerships? And again, what are your key success factors in those relationships?
Well, I agree with the mayor, and I believe that partnering with like-minded people, people that have your same goals, best interest, as well as you have theirs, is super important, because if not, you're kind of going against the current. So it is very important. I believe the mayor nailed it, and she explained it very well. It's important to have that like-minded partnership, people that you can trust and you believe in, as well as they believe in you and what you're doing. Because you need to support each other. There has to be that great communication, trust, and respect. So I think she said it very well.
Thank you.
Well, and I like the build that you put on it, as far as the like-minded, same goals, and then the alignment piece, right? So that's another thing that we've touched on in the previous shows this month is alignment, and how, I guess, frequently you meet with some of your strategic partners. How do you align on those goals? Obviously being like-minded, that's in and of itself alignment. But when you do set specific goals, I guess the question would be, how do you go about doing that? How frequently do you meet with your strategic partners? That sort of thing. Marie, do you have any thoughts on that? I'm sorry, I didn't.
Well, I
generally.
I believe communication is key. You stay in communication with your partners, but it's a give and take, right? Because it's a relationship. It's not just taking, it's giving back. So when you're doing your partnerships, great communication, staying in touch, giving back, being available for them as well, understanding patience, all those different things make a strong partnership, right? And I think those play into factor. And I don't know if anybody else agrees or can add, but definitely I think communication and trust is really big.
Yeah, if I can say something too, not to focus too heavily on semantics, but if you think about, partnership and then strategic partnership, the word strategy is very important. I think you can do networking right, you can meet people, you can have connections, but then, strategic partnership is more where there is a level of development that takes place, right? It's not just I have my contact, you have mine, I have yours, we talk every once in a while. I mean, there's a strategy, just like, you would sit in your company or your corporation, or in the mayor's case, with the city council, and you plan out, you have strategies of what you want to accomplish. So being able to kind of have a symbiotic relationship with a strategic partner is very important. And obviously, depending on your industry, I mean, real estate has all different kinds of things that touch the real estate market, from, some of the stuff I do, finance, what Maria does, actually realtors, Brian, selling or investment properties of all kinds, commercial and residential. And no matter what your field you're in, whether you're not in any of our fields or not, I think finding and looking for those partnerships is key, because in a sense, we always think about, we want to grow our team, we want to grow our business, but a strategic partnership allows you to do that almost instantaneously compared to the time it would take to grow your business kind of organically. What do I mean by that? Well, when you have a good partnership, no matter what that looks like, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Well, now you have taken whatever entity you partnered with, you're utilizing all their resources. You didn't have to bring those resources up from the ground. You didn't have to build that. That's already in place. And so that's very helpful in terms of, what your overall goals are. And so I think for a lot of people, it's a matter of looking for those, finding people. Yes, everybody wants to connect. Everybody wants to, have a phone full of names and stuff. But if you don't cultivate those, and you obviously can't cultivate everybody you meet, obviously, but if you don't cultivate some of those and look for the partnerships that are going to mutually benefit you both, then I think you're really missing out on a powerful tool that exists in business. Basically what you guys have already been talking about.
Definitely.
Dude, I think you nailed it in that distinction, Nathan, the strategic aspect of partnerships. Because you're right, a lot of us are all networked in fairly well with, partners, but they're not all strategic.
Yeah. I think you get blessed by association. So when you associate with the right people, right, it's kind of like what Nathan was saying. You don't have to build that network up. You're kind of going into it because of the person that you know. So sometimes, in your partnerships, that's what happens. You get, blessed by association. And so I just wanted to touch on that subject that Nathan had said before. That is so true.
Yeah. I think those are all excellent points. And I think really for me, the way I look at it, and you guys as well, time is valuable, right?
Yes.
Time is money. We don't have a lot of it, and we have to be very strategic in how we execute our time. So when we do have those strategic partnerships, we all network with people all the time. In our industry, there's always a luncheon or a lunch and learn. There's always something we can go to. There's a bazillion contacts we can make, but what is the actual quality behind that contact, right? So investing in something that's quality. And on the real estate side, we speak to that all the time, whether it's in property management or buying something as an investment property. Where's the quality behind it, right? So what does that look like long term? And are we wasting our time and our energy on something that's actually not productive for our business, that's not going to bring fruits back to us? So I think quality control in that regard is essential for establishing those partnerships.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I think, one of the things that I offer to my clients is, real estate in general is a relationship game, right? Property management can be transactional, but it can also be relational and hopefully long-term. So when I talk to my clients, my goal is always to grow with them. So if they're an investor that has 1, 2, 3 properties, and I want to understand what their goals are, I want to understand how many properties do you want to have, and you want to be in a relationship long-term with those clients that value your service, and more importantly, they know that you're going to pick up the phone when they call, and you help them find whatever next investment property is, again, through kind of my lens. Real estate agents, the same way, right? It's a long-term relationship game. So, and I say game, it's not a game. It's a business, and that's how you build your business. It's not the good ones don't treat it as a transactional thing. Yes, of course, it involves a transaction, whether it's a financial transaction or a real estate transaction. Marie, you're right in the middle of those transactions, right?
Oh, yes. I'm right in the middle of those transactions every day.
Right. So it's the ones that are successful are the ones that make those long-term, whether, a client business relationship is strategic by nature, in that if you treat it as a long-term relationship, it becomes a strategic relationship.
To piggyback off what Brianna said, thinking about your time and are you doing things that are benefiting your business? I know anybody, no matter what your business, in my line of work, in real estate, title, whatever, you can get caught up in some mundane administrative things, which are important. But I tell my people, and I've got to make sure I'm not being hypocritical in this because it can happen to anybody. But think of what your IPAs are, income producing activities. But in the for people in real estate, right? It's I want to get in front of people, and I want to get in front of people, and I want to get in front of people, right? And if you do that enough, your closing business, your investments, whatever, Brian, or you're doing the financial side of things, Maria, or you're closing on homes, whatever that looks like. For me, it's helping people financially and whatnot with different products and stuff. But I think that one thing that I've realized is that partnerships and expanding, business to business relationships, which is really the crux of what the difference is about, community small business relationships, finding those are really an income producing activity. The problem is, I think, that they take a little more work and development and strategery, to coin a George Bush word from 2004. Is that actually a word? I'm not sure if that's actually a word, but
it probably is now.
Sounds good, doesn't it? But
it sounds great.
But ultimately, it is an income producing activity. But I think we sometimes, if it takes a while to ramp up that partnership or figure out exactly how it's going to benefit both people, then we tend to maybe think, okay, is this what I need to be doing? But I'm encouraging myself to stay the course on some of the things that I'm working on, because I think there are fruits there. You just have to look at it from a different perspective, right? So maybe you don't spend as much time where you're not doing those other things that are more quicker response in terms of bringing in income or bringing in clients or whatever. But you've got to look at that as a separate avenue of vital business, those relationships. So I think that's something to think through.
Definitely.
For sure. Hey, I want to bring it back because we don't always have a mayor on the show, and we don't always have the political aspect. And I'm not going to get political, but
good.
Good.
Right?
I don't like
You're
politics,
welcome. You're welcome. But what I do want to dive into, especially since we are focused on businesses and small and mid-sized entrepreneur type businesses, but I am super curious, from the political standpoint and from putting things together. We'll go back to the lagoon, for instance, and I'd be interested in hearing some of the other Princeton projects that may be coming up the pike that you can share. But help us understand how important strategic partnerships are in bringing forth the agenda items that you may have as the leader of the community, or that you've got a lot of constituents that you have to make happy or keep at bay, depending on what the project may be. But how do you utilize, Brianna, the strategic partnership aspect in those agenda items and from a political standpoint?
Right. Really, I think it goes back to what I was saying a moment ago, just about the quality of that partnership. I can meet with investors all day long who tell me they want to do X, Y, and Z in Princeton, and they've got this idea and that idea. And I have to really weigh those conversations on, are they going to be able to push that over the finish line? Do they have the financial backing for it? Do they have the space for it? And is that something that lines up with our city's vision? So each and every interaction we have to weigh those heavily to see the quality behind them. Is it going to be able to contribute to the tax base of our city? That's wildly important right now to our city, because currently our tax base is not huge. I mean, while I can say we've got 22,000 people here, in the end, that pales in comparison to other bigger cities, right? We're growing. And in those growing pains, we have infrastructure pains. We're still expanding our roads, we're expanding our sewer lines, and that all comes at a cost. So in the end, it's a lot of dollars and cents, right? So if I've got a certain amount of land, who am I going to allow to invest on that land that's going to be able to bring that tax revenue back into our city? So again, it's back to the quality of that relationship. It's the quality of that investment. And that has to be strategic. I'm very big on vision casting. So to me, if I've got a vision for my business, or in this case, a vision for my city, how does that line up with our EDC group, our economic development, or our community development? How does that line up with our planning and zoning? How does that line up with city management, when we're out talking to investors? So again, you all have to be on the same page for that. So city side, business side, real estate side, having that vision on what the ultimate end goal looks like, that's your bread and butter, right? That's what executes things. That's what gets you there. And then you again have to put those key places and those key components in place to make it happen. So for example, even with the lagoon, we had to vet that. We had to make for sure that that was going to be a quality partner for us. We can look at other cities in the past. I know Rowlett, I think they kind of got burned on a deal with an investor that was going to come in and put a lagoon community there. They ended up putting some not I wanted to say manufactured. Oh no, hang on. It looks like my computer doesn't want to restart. Let me do something. Hang on.
The dreaded restart button.
Right? Okay, let's hope that doesn't happen.
It always happens during a live radio show, right?
That's only one. So anyway, get back on track. So I know they kind of got the raw end of the deal on that because, they had this beautiful space. They had this beautiful idea and it was marketed to their citizens. Everyone was excited about it. But in the end, they ended up putting a lot of multifamily units there and then they backed out and they have no lagoon. So as a city leader, I have to make for sure something like that doesn't happen to our citizens. Mm-hmm. We have to have, our ordinances in place. We have to pass those at a city council level where we hold them to a standard. To say this is what you're going to do and this is what you're not going to do. Because again, you're right. I've got constituents looking at me saying, well, what about our lagoon? You just put all this in, but where's the lagoon? So that partnership with them, that was, again, something that we had to vet and we had to weigh heavily. And was that something that was going to bring quality back into our city? Is that something that's going to bring a tax base back into our city? So, we get it on the residential side by them, contributing back to the taxes there for the real estate tax. But then, they're also bringing in, they've got a restaurant that they're bringing in, a bowling alley, a senior center, an arcade. So, how does that weigh? What does that look like as far as, a tax revenue that's going to be coming in? But it also piggybacks. And that's something that we know in our own business, that business generates business, right? So the more you do, things just kind of start snowballing. And so we're hoping that this is kind of going to be an anchor that we can also continue to bring in. So again, that's just something that we have to look at and just really measure everything that we have. Every project that comes into our city is this quality. We don't want to just throw things out there. So that's.
Can I ask a question, if you don't mind?
Sure.
Because I grew up in Rowlett, and I was super pumped about that lagoon thing. I know, Lyndon, you lived there for a while. We were all excited about that. And then we were really not excited when it never happened and it didn't come to fruition. So obviously you knew about that, when they came and talked about the lagoon. What was it? And you don't have to mention the company. It doesn't matter. But what was it that when you were talking about this partnership, which it is, and obviously investors too, that are putting this space together, what is it that kind of gave you the confidence to, I don't know, it wasn't probably the city council and everybody voted on it, but what is it that let you know, okay, this is going to be different than what happened in Rowlett, or at least you assumed or hoped it would? What is it about this project that was like, okay, this is going to happen the way that it looks like, or that they wanted to happen? What was it that gave you that confidence?
Right. So the project in Rowlett was more, there was a lot of hands in the pot for that. It wasn't just one investor that came in. It was an investor that had this idea and they were going to kind of outsource this here and they were going to outsource this part here. And so there was a lot of moving parts to it that, unfortunately, as we can see with Rowlett, if one falls apart, it's a domino effect and things don't actually happen. This particular project is one investor. It's Megatel, right? So if they've invested all of that into this and they're building that lagoon and they know that their homes are going to be driven by this, that's a little bit different situation there, right? So they aren't going to be as successful if they don't build that lagoon. They're marketing it, and that doesn't look good on them as an actual builder to say, well, we promised you all of this and we can't actually even do it. So that was a huge deciding factor to say, okay, well, there's one hand in the pot. It's one investor. And then also kind of the proof is in the pudding to see how they're actually going to do that. And they already have started another community. So they've got one going up in Weston right now, which they're marketing it as McKinney. So if you look it up online, it'll show it's a McKinney community, but it's actually in Weston. And they're doing it. So it's not just, for lack of a better word, a pipe dream or something that they're telling us they want to do. They're actually doing it. So that was something that we had to see. We had to physically see that they're able to execute it and do it.
I just wanted to go to a lagoon, so I guess I'll drive to Princeton now when it's done instead of Rowlett.
Okay,
sorry, my child just walked in. I thought my door was locked and it wasn't. So we
all right, we're good. Another celebrity on board here.
Nathan, why don't you just move to Princeton and stay in one of the properties that Brian Poduska happens to manage? I mean, that solves your whole problem.
And then
there you go.
I can vote in the election. I can vote for Brian, and that'll be helpful.
See,
you know
I'm such a problem solver.
I just need you registered before October 4th.
Okay.
Sign it all together. Love
Do y'all know any good realtors?
Just a few.
None.
Just a few thousands.
So now this is kind of cool. You don't even actually have to move here. So while I would appreciate another vote, I need all of them. They're marketing this very different than I've ever heard of any community, actually. So yes, all of our residents are going to be able to use the lagoon, but they're building some multifamily attached to the community. That's going to be on one side of the lagoon, and on the other side, it's going to be residential. But some of those units, they're going to be actually leasing them out almost hotel style. So they're kind of marketing it as a resort. So if you wanted to rent it for a week, so if you wanted to rent it for a week, you would be able to come there, rent that. You don't actually have to live there, and you could use the amenities for the week. But
That's
that was
pretty cool.
different. Yeah.
That is a unique concept. Interesting.
Yeah.
Very unique. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of different real estate investment strategies going on right now in our market that are interesting, So this one sounds amazing. Sounds like a good opportunity to go for a mini vacation.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it.
What's the time frame on that project?
So again, it's supposed to go before council, I believe, at the next meeting we have, and that's when everything is completely finalized. They've already purchased the land, but to actually make it get 100% legit on the books, this is what we're doing. I believe that's going to be at our next meeting. But everything is already kind of in place. They've got 313 acres that they've already purchased. That's going to be 1,054 actual residential lots.
Wow.
So,
that's insane. That's awesome.
Homes to go in there. So.
That's amazing. That's awesome. You know how many people are going to need refinancing and how many people are going to need purchasing? Valero title.
There we go. There we go.
How many? How do you know who's going to be managing all that stuff?
I'm sorry, what?
The weekly rentals?
I don't. So I don't know if Megatel has like an in-house that they use for that. Since this is a whole new concept for us, I don't really know that part yet.
Brian, you paying attention?
I know somebody who can
There you go.
probably help
There you
us.
go. You need to hop on that, man.
Yeah, I'll get you in touch with some people when I find out who it is, Brian.
Let me talk to Megatel. I'm glad to have that conversation. That's a unique concept that is very intriguing.
It
How
is.
many units are they going to build? Do you know?
How many units?
Yeah, how many houses?
I don't know how many individual units for the multifamily. I think that's actually something that's going to be discussed with council to see kind of what we're looking at there. So that number has not been finalized. I just know that there's the 1,054 lots.
Wow.
And they're all Megatel lots?
Yes, all Megatel.
Man.
That is a massive project. I love it.
It is.
So, all right. So I got to ask you this. You said you've gone through the vetting process, and there are some unique tie-ins because you do have one massive investor with Megatel. How long? So obviously, strategic partnership. Question is, how long did it take to feel real comfortable that they're a good partner to be with?
That honestly was months and months worth of work. We had to go back and forth between them, their attorneys, our attorneys, city manager. We had them in for numerous meetings with planning and zoning. It was definitely not just something we considered overnight and said, heck yeah, we want a lagoon, bring it to us, hop on board. As great as that sounds, we just couldn't do that. And honestly, same for them. I mean, that's a huge investment. So while we were doing that for them, they had to do the same thing for us to make for sure this is actually something that they wanted to be a part of. So it was a true partnership on both sides to make for sure that our visions lined up with each other.
No, that's awesome. Okay, so for those who might be thinking of moving out to Princeton to join the Lagoon Club here, what are the rough price points of this? Let's start with the single family homes. What are the ranges of price points there?
I don't know if they have it actually set in stone yet, but when I was looking at their other communities online, it's looking like, it's actually very affordable. So I think we're still looking at about the 300s to start at, maybe low 300s. So not anything like Winsong Ranch. They've got $1 million properties there. This is actually still going to be affordable living for just normal average families here.
Awesome. Yeah. And that's what I was curious of, because I'm familiar with the Winsong development out there, and I've sold folks into there, and you have $1 million homes. There's plenty of them. I think when they started, they might have had a few $300,000 ish homes, but so that's great to hear that there's an option for folks that are looking at that 300 to 500 range.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Now, it is going to be a higher end product than what Princeton has currently. A lot of our communities here, and I'm sure you guys have seen that driving through for a long time. We were great for startup families and starter homes. So around $200,000 to $300,000 homes is historically what we've had. We are trying to move the needle a little bit, so we are trying to offer lots that there's a wider lot and different structures and different building materials. So that is something that we are focused on with Megatel as well, to make for sure that their product still is going to kind of fall in line with what we're looking at, so that we can offer a higher end product for our people.
Awesome.
Princeton has come a long way.
We have come a long way.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So we've got a Crossroads community as well. Don't know much about Crossroads?
Bring it.
All right, let me share a little bit about Crossroads. I don't want to take up too much of the time, so I'll be very brief. So Crossroads is going to be on our east side of Princeton. So if you're going east on 380, heading towards the lake, right before you get to the lake, you're going to pass our high school. That's what we coined as our Crossroads. So we have our new city hall that's going there. It's a beautiful municipal center. If you haven't already seen it, go take a tour of it, because we're really, really proud of it. But all around that is already actually purchased, and we've got pad sites ready that those will have our big box retail, our grocery stores, our future Home Depots. We'll have hotels there, all of our commercial development there, but we're kind of trying to keep the aesthetic of, it's woven into our parks and it weaves into our trails, and we can kind of keep that beautification still there. We're proud that we just recently won to be one of the scenic cities in Texas that we're able to preserve our parks. So we're still incorporating that into our Crossroads, where we can, have a higher end product, and we can have, something nice to give back to our citizens, but yet still kind of keep the country feel as well, and really keep that culture.
Yeah, I just drove by the new city development there yesterday on my way, ironically, to Greenville, and noticed that building is super cool looking. It's very, futuristic, very, very cool design. And I know those parks that are right there on the edge of the lake as you go across it. It sounds like you're going to kind of bridge that and keep that. That nature aspect, along with having all the conveniences of a Target, a Home Depot, whatever the big box store may be.
For sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. Well, thanks for mentioning that, because I wasn't aware of that project. So that's great. What is the timeline on that?
That's already started. So, Crossroads is there. We've got an LGI community that's the residential side of it. We've already got a bank there. We've got some multifamily coming, but it's zoned. It's ready to go. So if you've got investor friends looking to come, man, tell them to check out Princeton Crossroads.
Awesome. Love it. Cool. Well, we have a few minutes left, and strategic partnerships is the topic du jour. Do you guys have any other thoughts on that we haven't really touched on? So some of the key themes, right? We've talked key success factors for strategic partnerships are mutually aligned goals, right? We've talked about communication being kind of the underlying foundation for the strategic partnership. If communication's not there, it's not going to work. Like-mindedness, I heard. Is there anything else that you guys have thought about as, we've talked back and forth about strategic partnerships that you want to mention?
I think we've hit on all the key points. I can't think of anything else.
Just being persistent, being persistent with your partnerships is extremely important as well.
Cultivating them.
Yes. Building those partnerships, making them grow, growing that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Brian, I'd like to add something too. I think something that we sometimes overlook or undervalue is the fact that when you're getting ready to build a strategic partnership, I think that you really need to evaluate your core values and the person you're trying to partner with. Mm-hmm. If you align with those values, your work ethic, your integrity, your vision, you're going to find a partner. You're going to find a true partner, and you're going to build excitement and momentum. But if the core values are off, there's going to be a struggle because you're not going to see eye to eye. You're not going to have the same priorities. Rarely will that vision align. And so that's just part of getting to know each other before you start to jump into business with each other.
That's why it's so important to have those coffee appointments, right? Per se, to sit down and get to know each other, not talk about business, but let's talk about each other. Mm-hmm. And let's get to know each other's personalities, integrity, and all of that, and in that conversation, you will find out if you guys align, if you have like-minded ideas and goals. And that's really important to go forward and succeed as partners together, is to have that same common goal together. So that's really important.
Yeah. And there's something, if you guys don't mind, I talked to Marie about this. One of those. When we met,
doesn't matter, whatever you want.
One of those. And I'd love to float this by Carrie and Brianna and Brian. But I, with what I do in personal finance, from everything from home and auto connections to my bread and butter, life insurance and investments. I have been working to cultivate some real estate agent partnerships where, even helping real estate agents get licensed in those areas so they can do those kind of a turnkey, right? If you can sell someone a home and then also help them either get qualified or get in a better position to purchase that home, or once they're there, help them kind of with other personal finances or have that relationship with me and kind of do that strategic partnership there. It seems to me that it would be very fruitful, but for whatever reason, I've haven't had a lot of success in building those relationships. And I don't know if maybe, I think quite honestly, and obviously this isn't the case with the people on this call, but I think a lot of real estate agents, and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe they're just more, they're super focused on real estate, obviously, but they don't see other streams of income. They don't see passive income. They don't see some of those things that I think as us as more small business owners and people that are looking to expand kind of see in a different way. And I know we got 2 minutes left, so bad time to bring this up. But if you guys have any thoughts on that.
I think you are correct on that a little bit. I think sometimes realtors have one stream of income. Maybe they'll focus on investing in real estate themselves, but it's really real estate for them. And it's almost like they're on the go and they don't see anything else. So sometimes it's hard to sit down with them. They live a very hard, fast life. They're on the go, they're on the move. It's hard to catch them, sit down with them. And I think you're right on that, Nathan, completely. I don't know.
Carrie, you didn't know if you were coming or going when we got on earlier today.
No, I don't. And to touch on what Marie said, I always think about multiple streams of income, because if I don't build a team in real estate, then when I want to retire, what money going to fall from the sky? And that's not going to happen.
Exactly.
Exactly.
But Nathan, I wonder if I mean, it's hard enough to build a real estate business and deal with multiple clients and then have yet another business you're also building.
That's the problem with them. Yeah.
But two, I wonder if there's not some type of conflict if you're a realtor and you sell life insurance I wonder if there's some type of ethical conflict.
There's not.
No.
I mean, company to company might have an issue.
Right.
But there's not a legal conflict at all.
Yeah.
So,
And Nathan, I love this topic because, and we could dedicate a whole show to it, because the concept of the side hustle, some people have real estate as a side hustle, but and I think this is where if you weave in a good strategic partner or a good strategic partnership, Carrie, you mentioned it's difficult, and Maria, I think you touched on it too. It's difficult to focus beyond building a real estate business, but if you have strategic partners that you can collaborate with to make that almost a seamless type of side hustle, I think the possibilities are endless in that you can have passive income from multiple different streams if you have the right partners and the right system.
Yes, if you have the right support. If you're
I think it's a great idea, Nathan.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
if you have the right support, yeah.
That's
The realtors, what they don't want to what they don't want to do, I believe, is take up more responsibility than they already have on the plate. I mean, they have their schedule full. So just thinking about adding one more thing to their plate besides their personal life, it's a lot for them. So if they have those strategic partners that are actually, that you can trust and you built those relationships with, they can take over that part. Like I could send over to Nathan people that I know that he could then take over and speak with and work. I can connect. Versa, yeah, but I won't have the time to actually do it myself. So 100%. That's where you have to talk and communicate and kind of work together as a team to see how we can help each other build our businesses.
Right. It also doesn't create passive income if you pass it off to Nathan.
Well, Nathan would be the expert, right? In that. So that's why it's a partnership. Now, if you're trying to do passive income, like have another source of income, then you're going to have to be in the mentality of you're going to have to work your two streams of income.
Yep.
And if you don't want to do that, then what you can do is partner and do it in a partnership kind of way where the partners benefit, but you benefit as well.
And I think that's a key in that relationship is that there's multiple beneficiaries, right?
Yeah. Right. It's a give and take.
I would challenge you to make for sure you really, when you're speaking to realtors, you show the benefit to them of it. Because I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, I've never even had anybody present that option to me. So don't even give them an excuse, right? I'm the queen of staying busy. Exactly. I'm an agent, I'm a mayor, I run a nonprofit. So, I mean, adding one more thing to the plate, I'm already busy. So who cares? It's just, we're busy. But showing really the value behind that, I think would be something that'd be very beneficial real estate wise. Yeah. And I think, again, just remind people, of course you have an excuse. The time's going to happen anyway. It's going to pass anyway. So might as well do something to fill that time and make yourself some money.
We're coming up on a slow time for real estate generally. So that's a perfect time if you can talk to realtors and they can take that time to take their test then and take the classes, then they're ready to go next year.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Thanks for the value.
I didn't mean to hijack the end of the show. Sorry, but thank you guys. I appreciate that very much.
Okay,
I'm getting the old the hook from Lyndon here in the chat section of the show here, but Nathan, thanks for bringing that up because that is a topic that I'm pretty passionate about myself. So would love to explore that a little bit more with you. Maybe offline, or heck, maybe we have another show dedicated to that topic down the road. So,
absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your guys' time today. Your value add was awesome.
Thank you.
Didn't come across as nervous at all. Go ahead, Carrie.
There's a happy hour this evening at Boomer Jackson Fairview from 5:30 to 7:30. My husband and I we are sponsoring it with Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration. So y'all come out and meet new people to build.
5:30 to when?
7:30.
7:30, and where is it again?
Boomer Jackson Fairview.
Okay.
Happy hour. Yep. So y'all come out and join. Brings people to meet.
I love it.
There you go. Get out there. Start forming those strategic partnerships. Like I said, guests today, thank you so much for the value that you added.
Yeah, you guys.
Pleasure to meet you.
You're welcome.
Co-hosts, as usual, love having you guys. Great to see you. Nathan, glad you're back in action and 100% again. Carrie, thank you. Thank you to our sponsors, Liberator Health Insurance, Wines with an Appeal. We're got to get out of here, but let's see you guys next week, next Thursday, same time, 2 to 3.
Awesome. Thank you so much,
Thanks,
guys.
guys.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Take care.